I'm Hannah Kaplan, and this is the WCS Wild Audio Podcast, where you'll find reported audio stories covering the latest news and newsmakers from the Wildlife Conservation Society's Global Conservation Program, Zoos and Aquarium, and their many partners. We've got a great show today, so let's get to it.
The Wildlife Conservation Society's Career Lattice is assisting young people across New York City in turning early opportunities into meaningful careers. The program helps participants develop skills, find mentorship opportunities, and gain valuable experience to grow. For many, it's opening new doors. Dan Rosen has more.
A career in conservation doesn't have to take you thousands of miles from home.
Well, I actually grew up right near the zoo, actually, like maybe about like 4 blocks away, like on Fordham Road.
This is Reiariel Garcia.
My name is Reiariel Garcia. I'm a wild mammals keeper over at the Bronx Zoo.
Reiariel's history with the zoo goes way back. As a kid, he attended Free Wednesdays with his mom and took field trips from PS 205, just across the street. It piqued his interest in conservation, and he decided to get involved.
My very first role, this was in, I want to say 2017. I volunteered with Discovery Guides. This was I was 16 at the time, so that was about my sophomore year in high school.
Reiariel's journey from there is an example of the power of WCS's Career Lattice program, which provides young people ages 14 to 24 with opportunities and resources to develop careers in conservation and STEM. With the program's help, Reiariel went on to pursue seasonal work, internships, and eventually a full-time role. Now he's working with animals, something that he still can't quite believe.
It's really changed my view on the world, honestly. Just the relationship you can build with these animals, and it's amazing.
It shows, he says, how the Career Lattice program can help by exposing young people to opportunities they may not know about.
I'm just a local kid from the block, honestly, and I never initially thought that I was going to be, working at the zoo. Like when I first, had this passion for conservation animals, I initially thought that was going to take me to some field research position overseas, like in some foreign country in Africa or Asia. But after doing all these opportunities with WCS, I realized I could do that job as close as home as the Bronx Zoo.
Yvonne Bennett's journey to WCS started similarly.
I grew up between New Jersey, Queens, and the Bronx, and these are places that are full of energy, diversity, and people basically of all walks of life. So at a young age, I was always curious about the world around me.
Yvonne began at the Bronx Zoo gift shop during college. While there, she got involved with WCS's Youth Employee Advisory Council, sometimes referred to as YEEC.
Working and in the same room as leaders and people who were in different departments and at different stages of their lives. So it helped me with networking, essentially. If it wasn't for me putting myself out there and joining YEEC and meeting the youth, people who worked in the youth development department, I would have never got to where I am now, because how would I have had that direct connection to someone that's already working here?
Today, Yvonne is administrative manager with WCS's education department. She and her team help market and register people for the department's education programming.
I think the Career Lattice program is important because it gives young people the opportunity to build real skills and experience in their fields. It allows young professionals to step into communities of leaders and also eventually become leaders themselves. That is my experience with the Career Lattice program.
I think at the end of the day, the Wildlife Conservation Society lives in New York City and is a part of New York City.
This is John Calvelli, WCS's Executive Vice President for Public Affairs and a Bronx native.
I was born 5 blocks from the zoo. I was born on 180th and Hughes Avenue and came here as a child. My parents didn't come from money, and they didn't know conservation or saving the planet, but they knew that the zoo was here and that the zoo was a wonderful place to come with your family. So I had that exposure at a young age. We need to make sure that we're providing those opportunities for the next generation.
The Career Lattice program, John says, helps WCS and helps the city, as WCS assists in creating the next generation of leaders.
Our facilities are anchor institutions. Therefore, we have an opportunity and a responsibility. And our greatest partner in that has been city government, the city council, the mayor's office. They realize that we can play a catalytic role for young people throughout the city of New York.
The initial program that WCS set up with the city council was so successful, John says, that it has since been expanded.
We went to the speaker and to the city council and said, can we make this a program that not only focuses on the 5 institutions of the Wildlife Conservation Society, but looks at all the science-based cultural institutions in New York City? And, with a little bit of advocacy, a little bit of luck, and an incredible program, we were successful.
Today, WCS's Career Lattice helps nearly 2,000 young people each year. And the organization is also a partner in the SCI Network, a consortium of 8 science-based cultural institutions that together support roughly 1,100 interns. You can find out more at bronxzoo.com/learn. For WCS Wild Audio, I'm Dan Rosen.
Today's episode was produced and reported by Dan Rosen, with help from Hannah Kaplan and Nat Moss. The WCS Wild Audio Podcast is a production of the Wildlife Conservation Society. Stay tuned for our next episode, and don't forget to follow, rate, and review the show wherever you get your podcasts.